Oregon students will soon have another option to avoid a mandatory quarantine period if they are exposed to COVID-19. It's being called Test to Stay. And the Oregon Department of Education says this new program should be available before the end of the month.
Fox 12's Kendra Kent is live at Ridgewood Elementary School in Beaverton to explain. Kendra?
Yeah, Nora, this is actually in a nutshell pretty simple. So if a kid is, say, exposed to COVID-19 and unvaccinated, right now they have to spend several days at home. That can be a week or even 14 days. But once this goes into effect, they'll simply have to take a COVID-19 test, be negative for COVID-19, and then they can stay in the classroom. Surviving the pandemic with kids is tough. Just ask any parent.
It's been really crazy. This year, I was like, they got to go back.
Every school statewide is back open to in-person learning, but plenty of Oregon students have spent time forced back to the online classroom, not only if they have COVID-19, but also if they've been exposed to the virus. Now that's set to change for the latter. On Wednesday, the director of the Oregon Department of Education testified before legislators, saying that a Test to Stay program should be up and running statewide before the end of the month. Currently, students who are exposed to COVID-19 have to stay home and engage in online learning during a quarantine period that can last anywhere from 7 days to 2 weeks, depending on public health guidelines in the school's respective counties. But in as little as 2 weeks, the state is expected to drop those requirements if those exposed students immediately test negative for COVID and then test negative again 7 days later, all the while staying in school if they don't have the virus. Parents we spoke with say they'd still opt to keep their kids home.
I would probably, if he was in close contact, I would keep him home at least for a week just to be safe, even if he did test negative, because it just feel like that's the responsible thing to do.
You can test negative one day and be positive the next day, you know, and you can walk out and catch COVID.
School districts told Fox 12 that administrators are just getting up to speed on the news and don't yet have any plans for implementation, although they're working on it. The Beaverton School District told Fox 12 there's no start date yet for the new Test to Stay program, and when the district participates will depend on the availability of tests. Right now, the district has less than 1% of students out of school due to COVID-19. That's for both students in isolation sick with the virus and students in quarantine who were exposed. And vaccinated students do not have to be in quarantine if they are exposed to COVID-19. And state officials say that in the next couple of weeks, we should see a lot more students vaccinated as they do start hosting more vaccination clinics in the schools. Reporting live tonight in Beaverton, Kendra Kent, Fox 12 Oregon.